In Ontario, people were able to do something today they haven't done in 3 months. Go to church. The province allowed places of worship to open their doors on Friday with safety measures in place. But as Jeff Semple explains, not everyone is eager to return.
For many churchgoers, this was an answer to prayer. For the first time in 3 months, Sunday services in Ontario were open to in-person parishioners.
We are so happy to be back.
Ontario's premier gave his blessing last week for places of worship to reopen. Crowds returned for Friday prayers at the mosque, Shabbat at the synagogue, and Sunday Mass at church.
Given all the stresses, all the challenges people are facing medically, psychologically, spiritually, I think now more than ever, people need the opportunity to come back to church.
On reopening holy places, provinces have taken different approaches. In Quebec, churches remain closed, while in BC and Alberta, gatherings must be limited to 50 people. Ontario's restrictions are more lenient. Attendance numbers must be capped at 30% capacity. This Toronto church seats 3,000, which means they're welcoming up to 850 people.
Every other row is blocked off, and if you sit down, you have to be 3 seats away, which is over 2 meters.
But for some, that's still too close for comfort.
It's simply, I believe, too early to open churches.
This Anglican church deacon says his and many other mainstream Christian denominations are keeping their churches closed until the fall, while streaming their services online.
If we really care about individual believers and worshippers and God's plan, that we should actually be healthy, I don't quite understand this urge, this rush to go back now when we still know so little and the potential harm is so great.
In the early days of the pandemic, large services were super spreaders. Churches in France and South Korea sparked outbreaks linked to thousands of cases. More than 50 members of this Washington state choir became infected during a rehearsal, even though they were avoiding physical contact.
Singing, chanting, those are the kinds of activities that from an infected person would actually expel quite a bit of virus.
For that reason, some are taking extra precautions. This synagogue has more than 1,000 members, but is capping attendance at just 20.
If we can find ways to preserve community, for me that meant particularly reaching out to people in need,
for whom this can be a lifeline. Jeff Semple, Global News, Toronto.
The new series that goes inside the COVID-19 pandemic, from the front lines to the everyday heroes helping us cope with the unprecedented change. Coronavirus, the new reality. A Global News special, Sundays at 7 on Global.